Hey guys, welcome to the Large Marge Sent Us podcast, your favorite podcast where two sweetie sisters talk about movies that shaped their childhood. I'm Sweetie.
And I'm Sweetie.
Dance!
Nothing else for me to do but
just dance!
Dance! Dance! Dance! Dance!
Dance!
It's not Napoleon Dynamite, you guys.
Oh shit, is that in there too?
Yes.
Fuck.
It is.
Center stage.
I wanna be with you. Mandy Moore and Jamiroquai had a career high with this movie, you guys. They each had 2 songs apiece in this, which is, I've never heard of something like that before. I've heard maybe of like one artist taking over, like 9 Inch Nails, say, or Trent Reznor in The Social Network doing all the music.
Reznor.
But it's not like, our album is only going to feature songs by Mandy Moore and Jamiroquai. Like, how freaking random.
Okay. Well, first of all, let's set the scene.
Okay.
It is 2000, the turn of the century, people. Do you remember 2000?
Yes.
It was a pretty good year.
Y2K, I remember vividly sitting on the couch in the basement watching the ball drop and being like, I don't know if I'm going to be here after this ball drops. I might be dead.
It was crazy.
And then I wrote in my diary, we're alive.
We're alive.
We made it.
We're alive.
So I totally remember it.
We had NSYNC and Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera like on the top of the charts. And then this amazing dance movie came out. And probably not since, and this is like, I don't even know if anyone's going to get this reference, but probably the last great dance movie, Ballet, was the turning point back in like the 70s, which you haven't seen that. It's pretty cool. Shirley MacLaine's in it. She's awesome. Baryshnikov, just saying. It's an excellent dance movie. It's so drama-filled and like 70s love. But that was a long time ago. So I don't know, like, what was the impetus for this brand new dance movie? Because you're like, ballet's still, like, not really that cool anymore. Like, it just
Good
isn't.
question. I wonder.
And this made it so cool again, didn't it?
Yeah. Did you feel worried that people were going to come into the dance world and be like, I'm going to be Jodie Sawyer? And you were like, listen,
well, honestly,
bitches.
like, we would want you because the dance, there's just not a lot of people in the dance world.
You weren't like a Maureen, like, bitch, I already got this secured.
So here's also the scene. So I was a dancer for like my whole life, and I went to this movie, saw it in the theater with my ballet kids. Hey, shout out to Lisa, Kyle, Rebe, Haley, Julia, Rachel. We all went to see this movie as a group. Like, we were this movie, and I've like never been more excited in my life. It was awesome. And I'm sorry, this movie is great. It's still really good.
I know. I mean,
did you see it?
Oh, not in the theater. I don't think. I think I'm gonna guess that you rented it with your ballet friends again. And
sounds like a sleepover in the Dumas basement movie.
Like, what you watching? And you're like, center stage, watch it. And I was like, okay, because I obviously wanted to be cool like you guys. So that's probably when I watched it, and I was like, is this real life? Yeah. Like,
as someone who was a non-dancer but still very much a dancer, not like ballet trained, but you're very much a dancer at heart.
I was a stripper.
How did you like relate? but you related and like really liked this movie though, right?
Of course, because my thing was always, I always wanted it to be the best without having worked at all, which never actually worked. But this was just another case where I was like, I can do that, and it just like it was exciting to me, especially. And I loved Zoe Saldana in this. And I thought she was like the coolest bitch ever. And I loved all the dances at the end. And I just wanted to be a dancer, but not. I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because it's way too much fucking work. I'm telling you.
I didn't want to work at it. Yeah. I just want to be like going on the stage, doing a dance, back to my life later. So yeah, that's how it went.
Whoa, deep, man, deep. Yeah, so this was a huge movie for me, and just one of those movies in the 2000s. I mean, so like Save the Last Dance came after this. All the like 10 Things I Hate About You, Step Up. Not even the dance ones, but the ones that were just about like teenage kids.
Bring It On.
Yeah, it was just like all these great movies with kids that were in high school, basically high school. Came out around this time, and it was like such a good time to be a high schooler. I don't know, it seems so ideal, and like nothing was wrong.
But nothing was like that too.
Of course not.
So you were like, yes, but then you'd go to school and you'd be like, this is boring.
Yeah, this is nothing like center stage. Oh my god, why did I get into this ballet school? So yeah, so I think we should just talk about it. It has an amazing summary, and as we said, a fucking amazing soundtrack that we will sing some of the songs, not gonna lie. Heavy on Jamiroquai, which is literally my least favorite band, but you know, I'll sing it. Virtual Insanity now. That's not on the soundtrack, but let's give a little taste of Jamiroquai.
They probably took it out.
The fucking video, that guy with the fucking hat.
Fucking hat. No.
Can't stand that guy. Hey, hope you're well. Hope he doesn't like die or something and we're like, I hate
dead.
you.
Everyone
oh my
seems
God.
to be dead.
Too much, he
I'll
drank
look
too
him
much
up later.
Jamiroquai.
What's Jamiroquai?
I don't know. What
do you mean? Do you drink it?
Are they like a cultural
How do you
appropriation?
know?
I feel like that was like a cultural appropriation band.
Why? Because he had a funny hat on?
No, and he had like weird hair stuff going on and he pretended to be black. No.
Okay, first of all, I don't know how to spell Jamiroquai. And I'm having a hard time.
It's Jamma,
Okay.
J-A-M-A.
They were
No.
a British, billed as British jazz funk band.
Yeah. See, I think it's appropriation.
If you want to know if it's cultural appropriation, check out this picture of the lead singer in an Indian headdress. Sorry, Native American headdress.
Exactly.
So
See, I think
guess
like
you're right.
they were not great with that.
His name is J.K.
J.K.
J-A-Y.
Rowling?
No, J-A-Y-K-A-Y. Get it? J.K.
J.K. J.K.
Ew, he reminds me of someone I hate.
Oh, see that? What is that turtleneck? Oh my God, we're posting a picture of this. I think I've already told the story about how my my freshman year high school teacher, Mr. Potts, shout out. He just played Jamiroquai like day in and day out, all day in the classroom. I don't know what we were doing or when we were actually learning, but I just remember that album on
he was
like repeat.
He was at Coachella.
Mr. Potts?
No, the JK from Jamiroquai.
He's still doing stuff?
He's only 5'7".
Yeah.
Wow, sad. Okay, well, we'll read more highlights from his Wikipedia post later.
A little later in the show.
He's 50 years old, just FYI.
That makes sense.
I can't wait. Okay, so.
All right. It's time for the Sweetie Synopsis.
Yeah. Sweetie's Insanity. Didn't really work.
Jodie Sawyer.
Jodie Sawyer is a dreamer. That's my favorite go-to line. She's a ballet
How many movies
dancer.
are people dreamers?
E.T. I don't know. Jodie is a ballet dancer, and she's auditioning to be in the ABA.
The ABC.
DC. No. They renamed it the ABA in this.
No, it's the American Ballet Company. ABT is the real one, American Ballet Theater. So they did ABC for this one.
Pretty sure they renamed it to ABA.
No. Nope.
American Ballet Association.
No, there's no association. It's American Ballet Company. It's a company. You're wrong.
Okay.
Keep
so
going.
she's auditioning for that, and she makes it, even though the people are like, terrible feat. She can't even dance. But look at her, which is like, what?
Yeah.
Somehow, A plus B plus C minus X equals Jodie gets in this company? I don't understand. So it's the school that feeds into the company. So basically, if you get into this school, you have a good shot at making it into the actual company. So she's all pumped. She's going to NYC, y'all.
Yeah, where's she from? Like Duluth?
I am guessing Salt Lake City, and that her parents are Mormons, and it's a hard transition. Because have you seen her mother's style? Whoa.
True, but the girl had moves, so it's like, you know, she knew what she was doing in the bedroom.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Although, well, more theories on that later. But, so she goes to NYC. She meets up with her roomies. We've got Eva, hard-cutting gal from Boston, I guess, even though she has a very
She
thick
seems much more New York to
New
me,
York
but,
accent.
you know, that is what it is.
Yeah. There's Maureen, who's been in the school for a long time and thinks she's the shit and is a super bitch. And then we have the boys. So we have Charlie, super cute, straight ballet dancer. Sergei, Russian transport, who is dating another Russian person in another ballet company. So there's that great divide. And Eric, who is a sassy, gay, black guy who... Where are you, Eric? Will you be my friend?
He's your sassy best friend. Gay best friend.
Can he be my best? Remember when I met that sassy gay black man at the bar? His name was Hamlet or something.
Oh.
And I was like, can I hug you?
No, what bar? What was that?
When we went to the restaurant at Dante with Liz and, on the patio.
Yeah, I remember that. That was
he
like
said
legit
my boobs
10 years
looked
ago.
like ripe cassava melons.
Wow. That's
Which
something
was
that's not appropriate to say to people.
He was gay, so it was fine.
Is it okay?
Leave him alone. But basically he was my Eric, and that's what I was really looking for. So anyway, so that's them. So the famous people in this ballet company is we got Cooper Nielsen, you guys. Coops.
The big Coop.
Big drama with Cooper Nielsen. He and the star
Kathleen Donahue
were dating. They were in cahoots. Is that the word? Cahoots?
No. That's like a friendly association, or for like a bank robbery. They're in cahoots.
I always mix up words. I'm like, that was just the bee's knees. So
that's the cat's pajamas.
So they were dating, and then Kathleen one day is like, peace out, Coops. I'm in love with the ballet director, Jonathan Brandeis. No. Who is it? I don't know.
I don't even know if they even say it.
No, I'm pretty sure they do. But Jonathan. Reeves? Maybe Reeves. And she leaves Cooper and then goes off and marries Jonathan. So Cooper's like all distraught, and he runs off to London, and he's just returned now.
Get over it. Go out with somebody else. They just broke up. They weren't married.
Yeah, I know. It's super dumb. So there's that whole angle to it. So it's your typical movie where you're like following these kids with a dream. And the dream is to get into the company, of which there are only 3 spots per gender. So 3 girls, 3 guys are going to make it into this company.
Yep.
And the way they decide this is they throw this big workshop at the end of the year where they all dance in the ballet, and then they decide who gets to be in the company.
Yeah, and then other companies like come and watch. But like, so the rest of the movie is basically a progression of all the kids. So the main person being dear old Jodie Sawyer. So, from the beginning, Jodie, doesn't really have the technical abilities that these other girls do. She doesn't have good turnout. She has bad feet. And she really shines, but you really do need the technicality and the technical moves to succeed in ballet. That's like the foundation. And then once you have that foundation, you can do whatever you want. But you really need to have a strong technical background. She was really missing that.
She doesn't have it.
Yeah. So they spent, the good, 20 minutes of the movie, her just getting dumped on all day by these fucking teachers. She's upset. All her friends are like, don't worry about it. Finally, they call her into the office and they're like, listen, Jodie, I'm going to give it to you straight. You have no future in dance. And that sucks because they obviously picked her for something, but they know that she's probably not going to make it into the company, nor would any company want her. So they're just being like, hey, maybe get your BA because you're never going to be a fucking dancer. But Jodie's like, fuck you, man. Margot Fontaine, one of the most famous dancers in the entire world, in history, had horrible feet, but she had such a presence that it didn't matter that her technical skills weren't there.
I thought was the reason she made it into this company in the first place, because that guy was like, but look at her. So she obviously has the presence. So I don't know what Jonathan's seeing, but hello, obviously she can't do her best if she's always getting dumped on all the time. Yeah. It's dumb. It's like, Jodie, you're not dancing with your heart. Jodie, your feet are terrible. Jodie, you're ugly. It's
right. But I don't understand the point of telling someone, just let them get to the fucking end and then you don't allow them in the company. Right. That's how they're going to find out. I don't understand what the point would be to be like, let's kick you out now.
As a manager, that is just poor management style.
Right. But it's also a
and
school.
Teaching style.
And you're dealing with kids, so you have to remember that. But that really doesn't exist in ballet because basically from a very young age, you learn there are certain standards of ballet, and it doesn't matter that you're 12 years old. Someone is going to yell at you and scream at you. I had friends of mine who were being told at 10 years old, you're fat, your legs are too big. 10 years old. Mind you, then everyone develops an eating disorder. So it's all part of the game with ballet. And it has to be like that. Okay, I'm not saying it has to be, but that's how you get, you get such strict training to make people so good. I mean, that's what the sad thing. It's with gymnastics.
This is why the Chinese team in gymnastics is always fucking crazy. That's probably why.
If it wasn't hard, everybody would do it. I'm just going to say that.
If it wasn't hard, I would be the best in the world.
Exactly, because you would, Andre's life motto, how can I not try and be the best?
It's so good.
The old backdoor model.
What? Butt sex?
No. Just going to sneak in here. Again. Come to the front of the line.
Butt sex?
Oh, da-dum,
So Jodie's like, fuck this shit. I'm going to a Broadway dance class and really let myself loose. So she takes this class, and who should walk in but Cooper Nielsen? And he knows everyone. He's chummy with the chums. He's chummy with everyone. So they do this dance. It's pretty great. And he like really recognizes her from the company and is like, wow, she can move. She's pretty hot. Yeah. And then he's after the class, he's like, hey, what are you doing? You want to get my motorcycle? And she's like, yeah.
But BT Dubs, they had met a couple times before. Right. And
like
he's like the famous dancer in the company. So she obviously knows who she is and is like gaga. I mean, it's basically like Justin Timberlake in a fucking dance belt and tights. I'm just saying.
Cooper, what does not look like Justin
No,
Timberlake.
in like the terms of how much of a crush she had on him. Because he's like this famous dancer.
She was smitten kitten.
Yeah.
So they go to his, like, I'd call it a penthouse loft suite. I don't know. Maybe. I didn't see a loft, but like looked like a penthouse. And he's like, do you want some dessert? Which like, shut up, get to the point. So then they make out and then they have
dessert
sex.
and 2 sips of wine? Oh, wait, you're 17.
So they have sex. And she's like, oh my God, best day ever. And then after this, Jodie goes from like a 5 in terms of like reality to negative 20,000.
Her head is in the clouds.
She's way up there. She's like, Cooper Nielsen and I are dating. We're steady. We're going steady. We're boyfriend and girlfriend. He's proposing to me next week. And he loves me so much. So she's like, stage 5 clinger at this point.
Yes. Good one.
She like gets a part in his ballet, which you're like, did she only get that part because she slept with him?
I mean, that
probably
was really, really shady. But as he said, you were perfect for the part.
Yeah, because he had sex with her and was like, I can make a ballet about this. So then she brings him cookies. There's a lot of embarrassing things we'll go over. But basically what it boils down to is Cooper's like, we had sex one time. I don't want to go out with you. Bye. And like snubs her and goes out with somebody else. Gets over it, goes out with somebody else. So she's crushed, but she's still going to dance in this ballet. She's going to do it.
Yep. So meanwhile, also some side plots. You have Eva, who just has like a big ball of attitude, and she really wants to be a good dancer, but is just like doesn't have the attitude for it. Like
has
essentially
the talent, not the attitude.
Not the ballet attitude. This is actually a position in ballet.
You know what?
Weird.
They all have something that the other one needs.
Yes, exactly. I wonder how that'll come together in the end. So you have that kind of battle going on, and then you have Maureen, who has found a boyfriend despite being like super nasty, not nice to anybody. She meets this cute as a button pre-med student who goes to Columbia, and he's a caterer at one of the parties, and he like picks her out of a crowd even though she's like basically like a coat hanger with bangs. And I'm like, what? Anyway, he's super nice. He loves her. His name is Jim Gordon. She's like, isn't that the police commissioner in Batman?
Yes. What the fuck?
That was familiar. So he basically stalks her, and then they go on a couple dates, and then they're dating. Lo and behold, poor Jim figures out, oh, the reason my girlfriend looks like a coat hanger is because she's, bulimic. So that's a bummer. And he's like, you know what? I'm not a doctor yet or anything, but I'm pretty sure that's not good for you.
You were
good
right,
one, Jim.
Jim and Jimmy.
Yep. But Maureen, during this whole little, I can't find my words again, just like you.
This cahoots.
This relationship, let's keep it simple. This relationship, I think, starts to realize that, living the regular life, just regular old Joes, is pretty awesome.
Eating pizza?
Yeah, eating pizza,
eating
not
ice cream
up, going bowling,
is awesome.
Dates, having friends.
Telling inappropriate sexual jokes to your mother. It's the best.
So she loves this new life and is like kind of like thinking again, do I really want to be a ballet dancer? Nope.
So, okay, guys. Night of the big workshop. Unfortunately, Eric, who had a starring role in this workshop that Cooper Nielsen was producing, choreographing, like sprains his ankle. He's out. Instead of being like, oh, this is for the students, let's let the understudy take it, Cooper's like, no, that guy's not good enough. Fuck him. I'm doing it. Which is like, I just have a lot of problems with that. And I feel really bad for his understudy, and I think it was wrong. But anyways, It moves the plot along. And Cooper is now starring in his own ballet that he wrote about himself and Jodie.
And has an awful lot of solos.
Yeah. It's strange.
How did that work out?
Yeah, interesting. So they're doing that. Jonathan's ballet, which because Eva had such a bad attitude, she got like a shitty part in the corps. Which how do you spell corps in this regard?
CORPS.
Oh,
looks like
right.
corpse.
Looks like corpse. I kept thinking it was like choir and that they were saying core.
It's those dumb French things.
It's so fucking dumb. Okay, so so she's pissed, but then because Maureen is like on the decline, Eva's like, I'm gonna practice, and then the mean teacher lady helps her and makes her be really good at the part, which allows Maureen minutes before the curtains go up to tap her on the shoulder and be like, psst, hey, want to be my part?
Why is Maureen like Liza Minnelli?
I like doing all the voices like that. It's my artist voice. Leave it alone.
I love that. I do it too, but it's making me giggle.
So he was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. So a good thing she practiced that part, because now she's starring in it and nobody knew. So yeah,
zero rehearsal. This much rehearsal. Zero.
No partner work to prep. It's like, damn. She did what I want to do.
She is talented. She's got the talent.
Yeah, she does. So that ballet goes off. It's great. Maureen's mom is upset. She's like, Maureen, what are you doing? And she's like, I don't want to be singing anymore. I want to have a life. And that whole thing's over. So woohoo! So now it's time for the big final ballet with Cooper Nielsen, and it goes off. It's perfect. It's the greatest ballet in the fucking world. There's a motorcycle. There's Michael Jackson. Another Jamiroquai song. A slow song with pedestrians in the background.
There's white girls with cornrows.
White girls with cornrows. I can't even process this last number in the actual ballet. Like there's like 4, like they show like clips basically of the ballet. But the last one, oh my God, you guys. These costumes, this hair, these red point shoes, forget it. Yeah. Forget it. The lipstick, what?
Look. Yeah. It's so cool, and it's definitely like the highlight of the entire movie. It's great thing, and like Cooper built this whole story basically around what happened with him and Kathleen, whatever her name is, and the director of the ballet. So it's actually like a true to life story. The director of the ballet and Kathleen are very embarrassed, but like everyone fucking loves it. Because like thing about ballet, which is like it's very classical, and there's like a great base of all these classics that will always be beautiful. They're always going to be there. But sometimes when there's like a really cool contemporary or modern piece where even if you're doing the cool ballet moves, but you're putting it to Michael Jackson, it's like the coolest thing. Yeah. So that's why it was like just such a standout. It was just like so different, and it was like kind of funny, and it was very like New York street scenes and stuff. I don't know. Definitely by far the best part of this entire movie, and the dancing is awesome. Choreography's great. And what can you say other than Jodie Sawyer totally shines?
She did it. All she needed was to dance. Nice. Nothing else for me to do. Just dance.
To do but dance.
Luckily,
all these bad times she was going through, just dance.
Luckily, this old rich lady is obsessed with Cooper and decides to fund his own ballet company. And he's super pumped about this. And he's like, Jodie, you got to be in my ballet company as a principal. And she's like, what? Okay, let me think about it. And then she goes to find out if she's going to be in the ballet or not. And she's like, I don't even want to know. I'm just going to be in Cooper's ballet. Yeah. Later.
So you don't find out. And I love those kind of endings where you're just like,
do you?
What is that called when it's ambiguous? Yeah.
I hate not knowing things.
I usually hate it too. Like I hate books that are like that. Like I'm like, maybe this happened or maybe it didn't. Ha ha ha, tricked ya. But like I kind of like it in this case because it like didn't matter to her. Like it would have been such a dash on her like I don't know, for her future, I feel like if she just didn't get it and she would have a dash.
Like a cross out?
No, just like a bad thing that she would carry with her forever.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No.
So it's like, and she also like, she didn't need that. A dig. Maybe I was thinking for a dig. She just didn't need that and fucking didn't care because she's like, I already got a job and you never wanted me anyway. So essentially, you snooze, you lose.
Is there a song like that that's like, I didn't like you anyways? I don't know. If you know it, tweet us at the Sweetie Club. So, yep. So there's that. Eva gets in the company. Eric gets in the company, even though he didn't even fucking dance. Once again, what is this shit?
Yeah.
I mean, I love Eric, but what? That's not fair. Charlie gets in the company. Anna, this stupid girl I hate, and then that's it. And Sergei probably got in the company. Maybe Sergei.
No. He went to
I know, but maybe
San
he turned
Francisco.
it down to go to San Francisco.
Well,
and then they were like, "We don't have anyone we want left except the cripple guy." So they asked him to be.
I mean, you don't ever see Eric dance, but like apparently he's pretty good, and he was cast in that ballet, so I feel like he was the same level as Charlie. Yeah.
So everybody has a good life now, and Maureen goes off to go to college. She's like, "Yay!"
And friend,
it's great.
Yep.
So that's a flick. So not really like huge plot wise. It's just one of those like
that's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, but not like it's not like twists and turns. It's like there's a goal in the end.
Yeah.
We're going to do this workship. Here's how we get there, kind of things.
Let's keep it simple because really it's all about the dance. So cool thing with this movie, like with any dance movies, you need to have people. Okay, so either it's all actors and actresses with body doubles, or in this case, they use sort of a hybrid model. So they used, I would say, almost half real ballet dancers with, let's say, questionable acting chops. A handful of actors with some small bit of dance training, and then also actors with no dance training. So they had to use, in some places, full body doubles for the people who didn't have any. Like Zoe Saldana, for instance, had some training, so she could do some shots. So I thought that was pretty cool and like worked because it's not. I mean, you can obviously tell who the dancers are. I think Jodie did a really good job. I think Julie Kent, who's the Kathleen character, did a good job.
As acting?
Yeah. I think she did well.
I think Jodie was the best one they could find, who was like a decent actress.
Yeah, she's just decent.
She's decent.
Yeah.
Cooper is terrible.
He's
basically reading. We decided he was probably reading off cue cards. And he has no emotion in his eyes. His eyes are dead. He's like, they make him wear his stage makeup all the time because his eyes are dead. And they're like, maybe this will help.
The Cleopatra eyeliner. You're like, it's like one of those weird things with men. You're like, are they wearing eyeliner?
He like never fucking takes it off. I'm like, can you take off your makeup before you talk to me?
The weird like rosy lip at the gala.
We don't need the rosy lip. No rosy lips at the gala. He's terrible. The Anna girl is pretty good. I wonder if I bet she auditioned for the Jodie part.
Yeah,
and they were like, you're kind of bitchy.
She has a bitchy face.
Yeah.
Like you're like, you can never be Jodie.
And then she did, so they
Charlie's pretty bad. He's not great.
Yeah, he's not great.
But
you know who's pretty good? Sergei, who's not even
we
ballet
forgot
dancer.
To mention that.
He is
Ilya Kulik, if you remember, Olympic gold medalist so it must have been the Olympics before 98 or whatever, Lillehammer. I guess he was a big thing back then. And it's interesting because like being a skater, he obviously has some grace to him. So it like kind of works. Like his dance moves aren't bad. Like he does all the arm stuff well.
The funny thing with that is that like it's like the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing where like you're like, I don't know if they're a good actor or not, but they have a funny accent and that works. Like
and he's just like funny.
He's just supposed to be like a Russian exchange student, like obviously, as Sweetie likes to say, a fish out of water.
A fish out of water is great. But like with just when we're running like the body double stuff, like for me it's still like so distracting when they use body doubles that I'm just like, oh god, like don't do it, because it's good. This what's pretty good in this, but like not really. Like once you see like all the people who need body doubles, they only shoot them doing like the arm movements, and they're like so wooden and everything. And then obviously the body types can't be exact. I don't know. It's just like it's just so hard.
Well, how do you feel about the new wave of this, where they insert Natalie Portman's head on somebody's body,
or if you saw I, Tonya, the Margot Robbie skater, so they put her face on a real skater's body. I don't love that.
I didn't think that was as well done. I thought Black Swan was really well done.
Yeah.
And I know you didn't believe Natalie Portman as a dancer.
No.
But
again, it's just like there's a stiffness to people who don't know how to dance.
But
that you can
as
really
someone who
read.
isn't looking out for that stuff, I was really impressed by it.
Definitely.
And
Natalie Portman trained a ton for that movie.
I know.
She did excellent. I'm not like saying she didn't at all, but like it's just really really hard. But I just found that like pretty cool that they at least use like a lot of actual dancer talent to like make the characters. which was cool because then they could do like real dancing in this, which is I think why it was a pretty popular movie for dancers, because we were like, oh my god, real people. And like I was saying, the turning point from back in the day, that's like they used all the real dancers too. I mean, it wasn't any body doubles.
Yeah. So guys, I got a problem. My problem is Maureen. So we talked about how the dancers weren't the greatest actors, but what do you do when an actual actress is a terrible actress?
Hold on, I was gonna say this.
ABA equals ABT.
No, we're both wrong we're both right. Sorry, ABA is American Ballet Academy. It's a school. ABC is the company.
See, I knew it, you guys. I have a photographic memory, and I saw the piece of paper on the door, and I was like, it said ABA because I remember I was like, it's like ABBA, but not.
Yep.
So I knew.
I owe you an apology, man. I'm sorry. I'm looking at this, and I'm like, shit.
Mamma mia.
She's right.
So, so Maureen is not a great actress, and I've seen this girl on other things. I think she was in Drive Me Crazy and like a couple other like bitchy girl roles, and she wasn't that bad. She was also in an episode of Mad Men as a random cameo of a mom taking her daughter to the abortion clinic, if you remember. She was fine in that. I don't know what happened in this movie, but she is terrible, and like it's only worse because we hate her as a character anyways. So you already hate her because of that. Then she's a bad actress. Then she gets to be a girlfriend to this adorable guy who's basically Paul Rudd, but not.
Yeah,
maybe
Paul Rudd
are they related? I don't know.
Poor man's Paul Rudd.
I
Paul Rudd with bigger
Rudd's
eyes.
the poor man. This guy,
he's really cute.
Yeah, this guy's like
he's a working actor. He's like still doing shit.
Call me. So
call me, Mooch.
So
call me.
She has this thing she does where when she's they're like, okay, Maureen, in this scene, you're going to be upset. You're going to be in a fight with your boyfriend, okay? Ready? Action. Oh, I'm making decisions. It hurts my throat. I'm making sacrifices for what I want.
She talks like Yoda.
She gets super husky, and we don't know. We were like, how many takes of this did they do? Was the director like after a while just like, oh, okay, yep, that's fine. All right, we'll go on. Yeah. It's just terrible.
Don't tell Maureen.
I can't, like with that scene where he confronts her about the eating disorder in the bedroom. It's just like, I can't handle it, you guys. I think I like literally turned red and felt upset about it.
I mean, there's a lot of parts of this movie that I feel the same way.
Secondly, Maureen has this newfound life because she's been dancing her whole life and hasn't had fun that whole time. Doesn't have friends, doesn't understand things. She gets told this stupid joke at the bowling alley, which A, doesn't make sense, B, is offensive to elephants. Elephants,
women,
rats, or mice, women, and gay guys. And it's hard to hit all those columns, but he did it. The guy who tells
what do you expect from Steve Buscemi telling the joke?
Steve Buscemi? Light. Oh, another light 0.0 version. So she hears this joke, and I would classify this as like a dirty kind of joke. She is like, okay, I heard this joke. I thought it was pretty funny. You know who would love to hear this joke? My uptight mother who hasn't had sex in 50 years.
Hey, you don't know about her sex life, number one. Number two,
I would never be told that joke.
Let's remember what Maureen doesn't really have friends. Her mom is like her friend. Her mom has kept her in this bubble. She's in her friend. She's a bitch. She's only danced her whole life. The girl has like no social skills, and her mom's her best friend. Of course, she's going to tell a dirty joke to her mom.
I just want to sum up the joke real quick. There's an elephant. He's walking in the jungle. There's like spiky things. He steps on one. He's like, ow, thorn in my foot. And this mouse comes by and is like, oh, you got a thorn in your foot? I'll help you remove it. So he takes it out. And then the mouse is like, well, I did a good thing for you, so I'm going to fuck you in the ass now. And the elephant's like, what? And he just decides to let the mouse do it because he's so small. What's the harm? So the mouse is, doing it with him in the butt. And then these monkeys are throwing coconuts on the elephant's head. And they hit the elephant. The elephant's like, ow, that hurts. And the mouse doesn't even skip a beat. He's just like, yeah, take it all, bitch. Take it all. Ugh, it's so awful. And she like tries to tell her mom this joke, and that's even more awful. Like it's just a very upsetting
and she
scene.
misses the entire middle section, and then she just does the punchline, and the mom's just like, what just happened
and
here?
in hindsight, like that's clearly why they did that, because there's just like a perfect line to be like, take it all, bitch, take my dreams.
It was funny. But that is like, you know, in so many dance movies, there's the show mom, the, you know, stage mom. I'm thinking Black Swan specifically, right?
Yep.
Evil stage mom who like didn't get to be a dancer and like has to, you know, has some talented offspring, and they try to push them to be a dancer even though they kind of don't want to, and they're trying to live vicariously through their kids. And that's just like such a trope in these, any kind of like dance talent, gymnastics, any like girl sport, figure skating, whatever. Like, ooh, evil stage mom. Yeah. And that like lady is a bitch, but you know what? I get it, because I never got to be a dancer, and you bet my daughter's going to be #1 at ABA.
What?
Yikes. No, I would never be like that. I'd be like, oh, because I was like such a half-hearted dancer. Like I loved it so much, and I was like decent at it, but like only because like I didn't have very good feet. Like, you know, I wasn't the skinniest person, but like I just could do a lot of stuff, I think, because I wasn't like afraid to. So like I was able to do like a lot of great roles because I was the only one who could like do a lot of things, which was great. But I never like loved it as much as other people because it was so hard. And I, like Maureen, just wanted to be a regular kid. Like I want to go to parties. I want to be like making out with boys. Like I just didn't like have those opportunities. My whole life was just like surrounded by girls all the time, which was amazing. And I made like the best friends ever. But I also like missed out on like so much like normal high school life, you know? I never got to play sports. You know, I was like drinking in people's basements and like 14. Like,
I wonder how you'd be at
dope.
I wonder how you'd be at sports.
I would have been great at sports. I'm a natural athlete. I actually was not very good at sports. I mean, I dabbled. I dabbled.
I just had like an actual drawn cloud bubble above my head, thinking of Emily playing soccer when she was little, and like we got you
first
all,
grade does not count.
We got you all that gear.
First grade doesn't count. I scored a goal on my first game, BTW, no biggie. And then, yeah, and I did basketball, and I was like pretty good at that. And softball, I was definitely better at softball. But, you know what I was really bad at? Field hockey.
Oh,
I
didn't even know you tried to play
I did like
hockey.
the little summer camp thing. Again, because like Liz did it, so
Yeah.
we're all like, yay, let's do it, because like our older sister does it. And I was so bad at it. I was like, well, yep, this is not my sport.
It's a weird fucking game. Yeah. Let's be honest.
It's harder than it looks. You're like, oh, I'm just hitting out this like ball, but it's like really heavy ball to hit around. The stick's really awkward.
There's grass.
It's also running, like shoulder
you have to wear a
pads.
skirt. It's like super offensive.
Bullshit.
So okay. So what was that about? Maureen? No. Yeah.
Yeah, and just like her like whole situation. Let's talk about Jodie.
I feel like we already talked about Jodie.
Well, I have a whole list of awkward Jodie Sawyer stuff.
Yeah, so let's go over
the
those super awkward Jodie moments. Oh, there's so many.
Yeah. So Jodie's like basically like a wet blanket when she arrives, because she's like, oh my God, I'm not good enough to be here. And like, that's so defeatist. Like, you got in, like, just fucking try your best and shut up. And like, she's so mopey. She's like, oh my God, I don't have your body, and I wish I had your feet, which is like such a common thing, because in ballet, like your entire life is comparing yourself to other people, because there's like a certain standard, and then if you don't have it, you're just trying to like get up to that point. It's super toxic, and it like literally destroys people. It's so sad, but it's just how that world works. Anyway, so she's kind of like mopey McMoperson. And like we said, or I think we said, so Charlie is like a big crush on her. So there's this like whole... Okay, so he has a big crush on her, and she doesn't know it because she's in love with Cooper Nielsen. Unfortunately, Jodie is also 17. So, you know, they hook up, first of all, and like, is that statutory rape, sweetie?
Are we sure she's 17, or are you just making that up?
Could be 18.
She's probably 18. I don't know.
It's still like
it's
so
a gray
inappropriate,
area, and it's super
inappropriate.
creepy. And Cooper was super creepy to her like immediately.
Yeah.
He like sees her. He's like, "Do you need help with your bags?" Like he's such a sleaze.
Yeah, he's disgusting, but she like fucking loves it, and she's all into it. So anyway, so they hook up that first time, and she like wakes up naked in the bed, and she's like, "Oh, this is kind of weird," but they part on good terms, right? So it's not like, I mean, you should not have jumped to the conclusion we're seeing each other, but like, I'm sure as any girl was, I'm gonna tell you right now, when I used to have one night stands with people, I was like convinced we were like dating afterwards. Not that they were gonna call me and we were gonna like go out on dates.
But you weren't
that didn't
like,
happen.
well, let me show up at their place of employment.
No.
And wait.
Right. So this is what Jodie does. So the first thing she does is Cooper's coming out of rehearsal, and she brings him a box of cookies. And now he is with his dance partner, who's the woman he used to date. And she's this like really awkward interchange to the point I was like, exchange. I was like, oh my God. I was like covering my face with my book and just being like, ha. So she's like, you know, basically dropping all these like hints about stuff that happened the night they hooked up. And she brings him cookies because he didn't have cookies. And she's like, I brought you dessert, so next time you'll have some. And she like talks all like sexy and stuff. And then she goes and kisses him on the cheek.
It's so bad.
And leaves. And he's just like, wow, like later. And he's so embarrassed. And like Jodie shouldn't be embarrassed. But she's not. She's like literal hearts in her eyes. It's so sad.
So then she's like, tra-la-la-la-la, I'm going to go see my boyfriend perform in the ballet. So she like trots on over with her little skirt and her little crossbody purse. And then...
early crossbody.
Yeah. And then stands in the wings and watches her lover dance. And he's doing great. He comes off the stage. He's like, what are you doing here? But he doesn't say anything. He just like is not talking. And she's like trying to make small talk with him in between him dancing this really
like,
hard
literally
dance.
Trying to catch his breath.
And he literally has like maybe 30 seconds to get a gulp of water, pat himself off with some tissues, and then go back out.
Yeah. She's like, oh my God, you look really good.
You did such a good job.
You did such a good job. Oh my God, those fouettes were amazing.
Amazing and tiring because he's not saying anything. And it's just so bad. Like, stop talking. And then she sticks around still after that. Doesn't get the hint. And Maureen, Kathleen's like, wow, like she's crazy. And then he leaves with this other woman, and Jodie sees them and gets real sad.
Which it does totally suck. I mean, that no matter who you are,
you should have had a talk with her.
stinks.
Like, listen, I just wanted to have sex with you.
Who has like, but does that to someone you're going to see all the time? It's one thing if you're like, not, I don't know. That's like, I guess, pretty par for the course in those kind of situations. But like, I don't know. She was just so young and impressionable. Yeah. So, and her entire wardrobe is from the Gap. I just want to say I had at least 3 of her T-shirts. It really connected me to her in this film.
That's a good point, because I feel like in a lot of movies, and I'm sure they probably did it in this case for budget reasons, and they're like, oh, Gap's pretty cheap. We'll just buy all Gap clothes.
They probably sponsored it.
But like no other movie, you're like, I have that shirt. I think on Sex and the City, like my friend Izzy had like this dress that Carrie Bradshaw had on, and it was weird because Carrie usually wears very expensive clothes, right? Yeah. But this was like, I forget what brand it was, but Izzy will tell me immediately on Twitter. But it was weird, but it was so cool because you're like, oh my God.
But let's also remember, like, Gap was huge at this time.
And this was before it was fucking boring as fuck, and only decided to...
They were doing all the celebrity commercials, the Lenny Kravitz, the Sarah Jessica Parker.
No, remember the one that was like, I'm just mad about Saffron, the West Side Story
Saffron's mad about me.
Oh, so good.
Caramel
and
yellow.
Now they're like... we're just gonna release brown sweaters.
Basically, we're gonna make everyone look like peasants dressed in sacks.
And for this season, we have a beautiful brown dress. It's like the worst.
Gap's pretty bad.
But yeah, so Jodie, I have a hard time with that scene. What I do like in that scene is the part where Kathleen is making fun of Cooper while smiling really wide and like doing their bows for the audience, which brings me to my next game, which is let's try having a conversation with wide smiles.
Okay.
Here we go. Wow, see, that was really good.
Oh my God, I just feel like we did a really good show.
It's hard.
So excited.
It's hard to enunciate like this. I don't know how she did it.
My lips. Like when I do it, I just do like a bit, and it's kind of bad.
Cool. That's hard.
Yeah, that's hard.
I feel like she must have recorded that like on her own, like not. I don't know. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It was too perfect.
Julie Kent, so much talent.
Busted. What else you got?
Boop boop. Sad about Saffron. I thought they use mostly real dancers. Oh, can we talk about the fat one named Emily? Mm-hmm. So they obviously deal with like the stereotypical ballet issues in this, right? So you have people upset about their body type, Maureen being bulimic, a lot of eating disorder stuff, let's say. And the big one being this girl comes back after, and she was like probably one of the better ones. It was like Maureen and that blonde girl, and then this girl named Emily. And she's like kind of chubby. She came back from summer vacation like kind of chubby, and everyone's like noticing.
She, as I like to say, she rediscovered donuts.
Yeah, basically. So to
me
like
every couple
drive
months.
this point home, basically beat you over your head with a point shoe. She is literally never not without food in her mouth. She's always eating something, and like she's always wearing kind of like all this weird cover-ups. Even when her partner tried to lift her, like I think they were like, "Hey, like pretend like you're struggling." It was bullshit.
Yeah,
and the
it's sad.
girl is like
Not
is
fat,
on
yeah.
the normal side of skinny, let's say. Like she's certainly not as skinny as Maureen, but she looked fine. And I'm like, did you have to put that in there? And then they like take her into the office like a couple days before the final show and are like, "Hey, BT Dubs, you're fat. And like, you don't respect your body." And so she's like, "Hell, like I'm leaving this dump. Like, fuck this. I want to eat my tarts."
But yeah, it just like doesn't make sense because what is she going to do? Drop 30 pounds before the big night in 2 days? Like, what? Shut up, Jonathan.
It was just dumb. And like, again, I mean, I guess he didn't want like a fat girl in his ballet. That was like his whole thing. But screw you, buddy.
Yeah.
She probably became like a doctor and makes like millions of dollars a year.
Go, Emily. You
Screw you.
go. So I wanted to talk about all the people I feel bad for in this movie. Mm-hmm. So I feel bad for, and you can interject some that you feel bad for, but I feel bad for, like I said, the understudy of Eric, who does not actually get to dance in the show, even though his big break had arrived. He doesn't get it because Cooper's a dick and is like, I'm dancing, you're not good enough. I feel bad for him. I feel bad for the entire core of Cooper Nielsen's ballet, because at least in the other ones, the core had something to do. In this one, first of all, if you were an unlucky sucker to be a guy in Cooper Nielsen's ballet, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you didn't actually get to do anything except walk back and forth as a pedestrian in the background of a dance number. That's all the guys got to do. The girls got a little more. They got to do some background dancing, but it was like a lot of it was fake ballet dancing. Like they were making fun of the like ballet class, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like a real dancing for most of it.
Right.
I just feel like if anyone's definitely not going to get him a job, it's all the other people that were in Cooper's ballet.
That's the thing. Like, I don't know. It's like, well, I mean, like I said, I think there were other companies there that potentially were like scouting out for other people. But would you notice like one random girl in the core and be like, "Oh my God, she's so good"? Like, you don't really notice people in a core. A good core, you don't stand out.
But these people probably aren't going to get like side gigs as like, oh, this shitty ballet company from Duluth is like, "Hey, want to be my ballet?"
The worst part about it is their high school was probably shitty because I think they were studying at the same time that they were doing ballet stuff.
I was going to ask that because they don't show any. The only glimpse you get of that is that Maureen's like, "I'm going to the library," and then takes her like composition notebook with her. And I was like, what do they get taught? What's the classroom like? Who's teaching the classes?
I don't know.
Is it Jonathan?
Right. No, I'm sure they had like a tutor kind of situation, but like, because they only had they had a class that sounded like 3 days a week. So,
well,
and then,
I
like,
feel
rehearsal.
bad for them. I feel badly for the stage manager who seems like a real bitch, but she's just doing her job. And she's always just like, everyone hates her because she's always like, places, everybody, places. Like, that's all she fucking says. And I'm like, get a new word.
That's what you say. Have you been in the theater?
I'm just kidding, but she seemed like a bitch.
Ours was always Ron Deschamps, and we'd always be like, "Thanks, Ron." You have to say thank you, and someone says
you
places.
say thanks 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like, thank you places.
Thank you
It's
places. So you heard.
So why don't they get a name? I never understood that. So wait, and then there's another person I feel bad for. Damn it, I forget. Oh well. Do you feel bad for anyone?
No.
Fine. I don't care.
I don't feel bad for nobody. Let's talk about the very cool off-Broadway dance class that Jodie goes to. So the choreographer of this movie is Susan Stroman, I believe her name is.
Oh, she did all this? The choreography?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, not like the classical ballet stuff, but any like the contemporary stuff. So she's like pretty famous choreographer. She did this musical, really like a dance musical, no singing. It was like just dance called Contact on Broadway. I think it won the Tony. I saw it.
Based on the novel / movie?
No, it has nothing to do with Contact. It's a dance. It's really cool. It's like a 3 ballet little dance thing. And it's like, actually it's her, the last one is a lot like the Cooper Nielsen ballet.
This whole time. Ever since you and Mom told me you went to see the ballet Contact, I literally thought it was based on the novel / movie starring Jodie Foster.
No, it's about.
Oh my God.
It's about like human contact. It was really good. I think we saw it on Broadway, and then I think I saw it when I came to Boston too. Yeah,
and the best part is I recently watched Contact for the first time, and that part at the end where she like is in the weird like space trippiness. I'm like, I was like, I can totally see this as a ballet. This totally makes sense. I'm such an idiot. Oh well.
Yeah. So anyway, so she did all the stuff, and she's like super famous. What is she doing now? I'm just like looking for her like shit. I don't know. She's done like a choreography for like everything. She's like really good. Center stage. Yeah. Anyway, so the contemporary stuff. So if you're talking about like contemporary stuff with ballet, it's basically like dance, but like not as rigid as ballet, right? So there's like some ballet stuff in it, but it's like jazz, it's like modern, it's like a combination of all that, right? So Jodie needs to like shake it up. Like she's just bored and is frustrated, and she's like, I'm gonna go to this off-Broadway studio, it's called. And they have these studios in New York. They don't really have them in Boston, but basically it's like you go to these studios and they have classes from like everything. So they have jazz classes, modern classes, tap classes, ballet, whatever, like and like basically you just drop in. It's just these drop-in kind of classes. So she goes, and it's like this cool studio with all these like cool people. And I don't know if she knows. She doesn't know that Cooper goes there.
I don't think so. No, because he just waltzes in, and it seems like I feel like this class must be like in the like in Times Square, like where the TRL studios would be, because there's just like a big glass window. Yeah. But it's pretty cool, and everyone's like super chill, and they're just like, yeah, like, hey, how are you? Yeah, let's kiss.
Like it's like Thursdays at 8. You're like all the same people show up, and it's like, and it seems to me that they're Broadway people, so they're all like musical theater people who are all, musical theater shows. There's just like always huge dance numbers. So you have these dancers who just do the Broadway circuit. So you're not singing. You probably can't sing at all, but you just do the dancing parts. Anyway, so it's kind of like that. So it's this cool, like kind of spunky teacher. And she's like really cool. She's like a cool New York accent.
Dance the shit out of it.
And it's so different from like the ballet classes that she was taking. So it's this like pretty famous scene where it's like there's this warm up to Mandy Moore's Candy. Like, damn, I miss that song. Like, I'm craving for ya. I'm missing you like candy.
Damn, I miss Mandy Moore, the singer. I mean, girl, come back to me. Come back to me.
Oh, man, I love that album. So yeah, her breakthrough hit, Candy, which is like kind of, man, that was like such a strange time for like girls being so like sexualized at 15 and like singing.
She wasn't
those
super
songs.
sexualized, but I do remember them making the video for that song where she was driving a green VW Bug, and she was only like 14 years old. So they showed like a car, it being like towed, and she's like, "This is so fun."
I think she was even younger than that. From all like it was like Brittany and Christina were like 15 or 16. I think she was like 12 or 13. She was really young.
It's insane.
Yeah, and it's just like now you're like, oh, it's like kind of creepy. And even like all the hairstyles were like pigtails and like weird Heidi braids and like flowers in your hair. And it was just so like, ugh. Now I'm like, don't miss that. Anyway, so she takes this class, and it's like this pretty famous scene that they do this routine to Higher Ground by Red Hot Chili Peppers. Higher Ground is actually a Stevie Wonder song, but they do a pretty cool rendition of that song, and it's like super upbeat, and they do this like really cool routine. It's split up between like the guys do it and then the girls do it. Check out our Instagram story. We basically reenacted the dance. No biggie.
Pretty great. But yeah, I mean, I will always remember that scene for as long as I live. Like when I was little, I tried to do the kicks part, which Sweetie does on Instagram perfectly, and I made up my own way, and I will just always do that. So a couple things about this dance class. Number one, there's this really terrifying, creepy guy with a mustache / what is that? What style of
Satan's
facial
beard?
hair? A Satan's beard. Yes, he's that, including a bandana or like a headband put in the middle of his head or hair or whatever, so that like his floppy mop top like goes over the headband, right? Mm-hmm. And he's just like gross. Like you look at him and you're like, ew, are you the Jamiroquai guy? You're gross. And there's this horrible scene where Cooper's watching Jodie dance her part, and he like goes over to this gross guy, and they say something to each other. And although you don't hear what they're saying, you're pretty sure Cooper's like, hey, isn't that girl pretty? She's a student at the ballet school. And the guy's like, that one? Yeah, wow, she's really hot. And they like, I'm pretty sure that's how the exchange went. But it's so creepy to me, and they're like so leery, and that guy is so scary. And the worst part is at the end when they show everybody dancing in Cooper's ballet, that guy's in the ballet company.
No.
Damn it. So when Sweetie saw Contact, you told me that.
Yep. So so the Susan Stroman does all the choreography and clearly like put all her buddies in this movie and was like, hey, I'm doing this movie called Center Stage. Want to do this like class and we'll film it? So basically like that's what happened, because when I went to go see Contact on Broadway, all the people from this movie were in it. It was insane.
Sweetie was basically Josh Baskins in Big, who's like, hey, it's that guy. Hey, it's the guy from the meeting.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the guy from the dance scene.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was like, TV came to life. So that scene's really cool, and I like how it shows basically just like forewarning you that there's going to be some like contemporary stuff going on, versus the boring ballet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, can we talk about your
yes.
what's that called?
Scatting.
Your scat.
So like I said, it's The Higher Ground by Stevie Wonder, but this is the Red Hot Chili Peppers version. And it's a little bit different. Though I think I heard this version first, and then I heard the Stevie Wonder, and I was like, "Whoa, that's cool!" Like they stole it. I mean, whatever. Paid homage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So there's like this part that it's like always happens where like basically like I think it's right, and I'm like so confident and stuff that I'm just so cool about it. Like I'm just gonna sing along. It's almost like those people who sing along like to the top of their lungs with the wrong lyrics to songs, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But if like you believe it, is it a lie? I'm just saying. Anyway, so
it's not a lie. It's wrong. It's different.
So we're like watching this scene in the movie, and I'm like, oh, sing along, I'm like, people keep on turning the world.
So then like the end is just like guitars, and then Anthony Kiedis like says some things. So Sweetie's version of this.
Yeah. So I'm like singing along, and I'm like, skeeto, beep bop shoot bop. Basically like scatting, and I think I set it up when I was like, I love this part, and then I go ski beep bop shoot bop. And Sweetie looked like I had like 20 heads, and she's like, no, it's
Stevie knows that nobody's gonna bring me down.
Yeah,
but like,
I mean, I was close.
I've just like never been happier in my life to hear you think that was scatting. It's just like so good.
Like Anthony Kiedis is gonna scat, and whatever.
Amazing.
Jamiroquai.
So that brings us to Jamiroquai. Okay. Sorry, I have to pull it up now. I have to pull up the article. Okay. So, biography. So, like I said, he's British. His mom was a former cabaret singer. Look at that. Look at that, JK. Okay. So the band included a guy on keyboards, bass, drums, and a didgeridoo player. Because you can't have Jamiroquai without the didgeridoo. Am I right? There's a this is sad. Okay, now I feel bad for Jamiroquai because there's a misconception that the whole band is just that stupid guy because he's the only one in all the videos.
Bullshit.
What the fuck? So he's known for his array of elaborate hats and headgear. He's known as the Mad Hatter. This is so sad.
It just takes away from the group.
I'm just like, what is he doing now? I don't understand. His Wikipedia article is unnecessarily long. Did he write this? Was he like, Scooby-Doo, doo-da, gotta write my Wikipedia article.
Scooby-Doo,
Well, anyways, he's still alive, so that's all I needed to know. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So for the Jamiroquai in this, they have the song in the beginning, Cosmic Girl. Just a cosmic girl from another galaxy. So that's kind of a cool little happy little hip number. And then the one in the end is Canned Heat, which is pretty good. And I do like that song. The one that goes, dance, dance. Nothing left for me to do but dance. All these bad times I'm going through, just dance. Can't feel it, can't heat in my heels tonight, baby. Yeah.
I thought that was a different word as well. And a different one.
Did you think it was
Mine?
skidoo up?
Nope. I thought it was I've got candy in my heels.
Okay, that's the Mandy Moore song.
You know what? It was confusing because her toe shoes were red, and I was like, yeah, she's got candy in her heels. Like, makes sense.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, and then as far as the rest of the soundtrack goes, so the way you make me feel, Michael Jackson. I think that song had a resurgence after this, right? And that was on the soundtrack. That like kind of like R&B, like, you know, Casey and JoJo might sing it. What kind of a deal? If I was the one who was loving you, baby, all the tears you cry would be tears of joy. If I was by your side.
If I was by your side.
And then what was this other one I put down? And We're Dancing. What's the one?
And we're dancing, and it feels all right.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a good one.
Yeah. So good soundtrack. Like I said, I owned it. I listened to it. Basically just the Michael Jackson song, Can't Heat. But and then like the Spanish one.
Oh, yeah.
Come baby, come to me.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that was good.
Totally.
Yeah. So good soundtrack. Pretty decent. What else? Anything?
Just that I've always found it very hard to believe in the reality of the last number in this ballet, which the way they transition it is confusing for a child because you're like, whoa, she was just wearing a dress. Now she's wearing this red costume and has cornrows and red toe shoes. It doesn't make sense. But I'm pretty sure the lights went down and then they left and they came back on stage and they were like, do.
It's a total suspension of reality.
So listen, guys, I don't know if anybody's ever had a quick change. Here's what you need to know about quick changes. They're quick. And you don't have time for anything. Literally, people are throwing off your clothes and you're just naked in the wings and people are putting your clothes on you. And you may or may not have had to use postage stamps to cover your nipples because you accidentally bought clear pasties. Like, not that I know from experience, but yes, that's what happened. So you don't have time to do anything. I don't understand how they had time to throw Jodie into a chair, quickly cornrow her hair, including everyone else's hair, slap on some red toe shoes, lipstick, the whole shebang, and then go back out there.
I mean, there's a suspension of reality, obviously. And then when you do these kind of movies, like, that has to happen. However, you don't know, like, maybe there's a whole scene where, like, the guys did, like, some dance or something like that. Or there was more core stuff.
Maybe they did have a part. Maybe there was an intermission.
Yeah. No, I mean, these were just like little one-act ballets.
See, that's what I thought.
So,
it doesn't make sense.
But that number is in the ending is so spectacular once like that change happens.
Like, I understand, but it just like as a sensible person, I was like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, totally.
What the fuck?
No, totally. I feel you. But yeah, I just saw the end scene. It just made me like so happy to be a dancer. I'm like, this is what dancing's about. Okay, so we have a little treat for you all. We know a professional ballet dancer.
Hi.
She's also my best friend. And so we're going to give her a little jingle jangle. So it's Ask the Prima Ballerina. Yeah.
Even though she doesn't listen to our podcast.
Yeah. She's listened to a couple episodes. But yeah, so we're just going to give her a jingle jangle. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I hope she's ready.
I'm ready. Calling the ballet dancer. We got some questions. All right. Let's give her a call. Hello?
Hello.
Is this Sweetie Club?
It's the Sweetie Club here.
Hooray!
Hooray. How are you, my professional ballerina friend?
I am good. Very good, thank you. Just thrilled to be part of the show.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. So, as you know, here on Large Marcenas, when we watch a movie and we know people who might have, a connection to it, whether they love it or, can relate to it, we'll have them on the show. We had Haley for Goonies. We've had Carol a couple times. And we thought so appropriate to call you, being basically the one person we know, I think, who is a professional ballet dancer. Sorry, there's a motorcycle outside.
Well, I'm honored and delighted.
Well, we're glad you're here.
We're glad to know you.
So let's start off with when do you remember seeing this movie for the first time? So it came out in 2000, if you didn't know.
2000. Okay, so I was still living on the Cape, freshman in high school, I think. So I must have seen it at the theater.
Okay, because so then maybe do you remember this? Because we all went as a ballet group to see this. So you must have gone.
I must have.
Yeah, like we all went.
I don't remember like the event, but
yeah,
sure we did.
I must have had my driver's license because this was 2000 spring of So I would think I would have my driver's license.
Cressida.
Yeah, Toyota Cressida. So we all would have seen it then. So that's cool. Oh, I didn't know you were there. I like name dropped literally our entire ballet class, and I left you out because I didn't think you were there.
I think I was there, unless I was at Herod, but I'm pretty sure I was still home.
Okay.
I can confirm you did have your license because the album No Strings Attached came out in 2000 as well, and you had just gotten your license at that point. It was a snowstorm, and we went to buy the CD anyway, so it was very dangerous.
Yep. Okay, cool.
And those were the days.
Yes.
Golden days.
So, as a ballerina, like this movie mirrors your life to a point, right?
Absolutely. Actually, that's watching it. I was kind of thinking how not really far-fetched it is. Like, of course, some of the themes are a little bit like monstered, but it holds pretty true.
Good. Yeah. So you had like audition processes like that, where you would go and like be selected and stuff like that.
Yes, lots of auditions. The thing that kind of I was confused about in the movie is that they seem to all be 21. And like, because they're drinking.
Well, I don't know if you know this, Robin, but in New York City, there's a little something called fake IDs.
Okay, well, that's what I was wondering about, because that's usually something that like a 17 to 20-year-old program would be.
Okay.
But I mean, there are a few, like there are definitely people that were 21 in programs like that, but I think that would be more late high school. But yeah, absolutely. I did all those auditions for summer programs and then auditions for pre-professional programs and companies, and they were like that. Like, but usually there weren't 12 spots. Usually there were like 3, 1 spot. You're like, no problem. We have to hold the audition for legal reasons.
Oh my God, that stinks. So did you live?
Yeah, it was pretty cutthroat like that.
Did you do like any kind of dorm style living like that, where you like were just with all the other dancers like all the time like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did that when I went away to Herod. So my sophomore year of high school and then my junior year of high school were both those dorm situations. My sophomore year was all girls, and it was well, there were boys, but we were separated, and it was very like highly secure, very strict. We had like bulletproof windows. We had alarms on the doors. You couldn't even like sneak to another girl's room for a sleepover. But then when I went away to NTSA, I was in the co-ed dorm, so there was 2 boys' floors and a girls' floor, and it was much more relaxed.
Oh yeah,
more kind of like a college atmosphere, I'd say. So I kind of had both experiences.
Oh, that's so fun. Yeah, it looked like such a blast because it was like, kind of like pre-college before, if these kids are maybe in high school, like you're getting that kind of experience before.
That was my only like college experience kind of, I guess, were those years. Yeah. Yeah,
definitely. Any other, I mean, we're going to ask you some questions, but any other initial impressions? Because you did rewatch it today, so you did your homework.
Yes. The only thing that really stuck out to me as, what's the word, like incorrect or wouldn't, like non-realistic would be when Ava just like shows up on stage for the show.
We were going to ask you that. I wrote in my notes, I mean, Ava filling in situation, realistic, question mark.
There's no way that would happen.
Right.
Like, even if somebody was injured,
right,
like, she would at least have 15 minutes with a partner. And not because, like, she couldn't do the choreography, but because if you're doing something with a new partner with lifts and pirouettes, like, there's no way you're going to be able to do that seamlessly, like, at the top of your game. Like, you have to get your hands on each other's bodies for at least 10 minutes minimum.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, just in that particular ballet had so much partnering in it. The whole thing was partnering.
Yeah,
so
and that's the only thing that I was like, definitely. Like, it was exciting, drama for the movie, but no way would that ever happen.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely people have to step in at the last second and save the day.
Wow.
And, do their best. But that would never happen in those, exact circumstances, I don't think.
Yeah. Totally. I think that, that totally rings true. And we noticed that as well. Mm-hmm. All right, sweetie.
Yeah.
So do you have any questions for this ballerina?
Questions.
Sweetie, questions?
Okay. So my biggest one is, realistically, how long do you think it would take to do a quick change that involves cornrowing everyone's hair?
Cornrowing, if you each had your own personal cornrower, that's hard to say, at least 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Per person.
Oh, yeah.
So they would need,
do changes between pieces where you have to go from, a bun to a French twist, and that takes, half the intermission and there's a slight panic.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
So I can't even imagine the cornrows.
Yeah, forget it. Unrealistic.
Unrealistic.
Okay. So yeah, that was my main question. My second question is, did you have a ballet friend like Eva who had your back and was like, "Listen, bitch, leave my friend alone. She's doing a good job"? Yes or no?
Ooh, that is a good question. I don't know that I've ever had someone do that for me in a rehearsal setting, but there's definitely been times where immediately after, you're scooped up by your friends and they come to your rescue. But in terms of disrespect in the studio to a teacher or a choreographer, you really just swallow it and you deal with it later. I've seen that happen a few times, probably more with men than women, kind of reacting. Because sometimes guys can get away with it more, because in the dance world they tend to be a little bit more, a little bit more valuable in the ballet world in terms of there's not as many of them, but girls, there's 40 waiting in the wings for your start. You kind of have to be on your tip-top behavior.
Right.
Sad.
So yeah, I'd say we'd have an Eva behind the scenes, but not actually.
Yeah, because I feel like everyone should have a friend like Eva that really has your back like that. Yeah. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know, that's a great moment.
And she was such a good motivator for Jodie
true.
too.
It's everybody's there working their very, very hardest. Nobody's being lazy.
Right.
And it's not because you don't want to. It's not like she didn't want to have turnout. That's a physical condition.
I know. And I always wondered with that and how they make that her big Achilles heel, let's say, Jodie doesn't have turnout. But are you able to develop that that late in the game?
You can learn how to cheat your lines.
Okay.
You can learn how to make it look like you have more turnout than you do. But yeah, in the classical ballet, there's certain lines that you have to be able to make.
Yeah.
And if you can't,
right.
you won't. That is realistic. And turnout is something that people turnout in feet for girls, especially. You just have to be able to finish the line.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the feet, you have to figure out a way to work on them until you can do it.
Yeah, and I feel like that was pretty they did a good job, because that girl really didn't have that great of feet. Sometimes they looked okay, but there were some positions where it was just whoa, what is that called again? It's not. Is it muffin? Remember, there's that Instagram blog with the bad feet.
We call it biscuit.
Biscuits, yeah, biscuits. When you're not pointing your feet, you're just kind of fake pointing. Yeah, she did tons of biscuits, and I was like, yes. It was awesome. Okay, so one of my questions is, do you remember were Ethan Stifle and Julie Kent considered super great ballet people in this time period? What are your thoughts on them?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And actually watching them in this kind of I remembered how fantastic they were and are.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's now the director of Washington Ballet.
Oh, no way. Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I'm not sure where he was. I think he actually was the director of NCSA for a while.
Oh, no way.
School of Art.
Yeah, his Wikipedia.
Superstars, for sure. Superstars.
Yeah, so in his Wikipedia said he did the Royal New Zealand Ballet or something. He was the director there, and he married another ABT, Jillian something.
Murphy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then they're still together and stuff. Yeah, so cool. I just wanted to know that because like I don't like remember. I don't know. That might have been. I think I knew who they were. Definitely, I knew who Julie Kent was before I saw this, but I don't know if I knew who Ethan Stifel was back in like 2000.
I think I knew too because in 1999 I went to ABT summer program in New York. So I didn't get to like meet them, but I, got to see them. It was kind of like that experience where you see them in the hall.
Oh my God.
That was the other part that was unrealistic. He's like in the wings watching the performance.
Yeah.
Like as a student, you would never just literally
right.
in the wings for dancers are coming on and off.
Oh my God.
Just like casually watching.
Okay, so along that same line, is there really a backstage tissue box?
Absolutely. Every wing, yes. So every leg is what where the lights are.
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of these like posts, and we have attached to them tissue boxes and water bottles.
Cool.
That with like a special squirt top, so that you can just squirt it in your mouth.
Oh.
And yeah, you come on stage and like dab off and get some water before you go back on, and there's little trash cans attached.
Cool. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 3: have you ever slept with your choreographer?
Well, one of them was my boyfriend.
Oh, you're
I
right.
guess that's a yes.
Yeah. Okay. Never have I ever. Ding. Yeah, that's not the greatest thing though, right?
Although he was a fellow dancer and not in like a peer position, so I've never, crossed that line with like a professional,
Yeah.
But I'm positive that happens.
I'm sure.
Prolifically throughout the dance world. I don't think that's an unusual theme.
Right. Totally. That's so funny. Any other questions? What do you got?
Do you have any embarrassing lift stories?
Embarrassing lift
I'll give
stories.
you a brief example.
Oh, yeah, I have a good lift story.
Okay, good.
So, my good friend, Justin, he and I are still working together, but we started working together at Houston Ballet. He was like 21, and I was 17, I think, and we were partners in this Canada class. And at the end of the year, we had these demonstrations that we did. It was kind of like our final exam, I guess, and we had like a ballet class and had to do a variation, and then we had a pas de deux part that we had to do. And my mom was there watching, like our parents were there. It was the end of the year. And we would do very complicated pas de deux work. It wasn't just like your tombe pas de bourrée, like pirouette. We would do like really tricky stuff. So we were doing like a lot of floor work. And there was a part where we were like both on our backs, and then we rolled to this position where he would then like press me. So he was lying on his back, but he would do a full press of my body, and I'd kind of go into a back bend. Similar actually to the one they do in the pas de deux Romeo and Juliet, but when he's on his knees and he presses her, except it was backwards. And I just like came down at the wrong time and literally sat on his face like so hard that his head like bounced off the marley floor.
Oh no.
So that was one. There's been, a million over the years. People getting dropped, people, kicking each other in the nuts. My friend Julie knocked her husband's tooth out during
Oh, God.
Front tooth
What
gone
about
for 6 months. He had to get a full dental implant. Broken noses.
Yeah, I feel you, buddy.
All that jazz comes with the territory.
Okay. So
Dudes having to wear tampons in their nostrils because their nose is bleeding so bad.
Oh, okay, yeah. the secret weapon to nosebleeds. Yeah. So you've never seen anybody get like lifted above somebody's head and been like, "Oops, I had my period."
I don't think I've seen it, but I've heard about it.
Did you hear about it because that happened to Sweetie over here?
Was that you, Emily?
It was me. Sleeping Beauty, remember? Yeah. I had like a peach leotard on, and I was like...
Oh, yeah.
And like I realized, it sucked, because like I realized it had happened, but like I was next. I was doing Sleeping Beauty, and we were like alternating. Okay, like Emily, it's your turn to do it. And then like I didn't have time to be like, oh, can I go to the bathroom? So I was like, well, guess I just have to do this. And it was like a press over his head.
Dancers are so intense. There's no like, excuse me, I'm bleeding.
Nope.
It's like, well, do or die. Now or never.
I'm like, whatever. And I finished the whole thing. But all that was going through my mind, I couldn't concentrate at all. Like, obviously this was not happening, but I was like convinced once he did the press, like blood was going to start dripping on his face. Oh my God. And like, obviously that would not happen.
I remember dancers in my company we're about to run something, and she was like, I think I just started my period, and the guy was like, well, can't you just, like, hold it? And she's like, no, like, that's not how periods work. You can't just, like, suck it back in.
Oh, my God. What a dummy. Yeah.
And, ladies and gentlemen, is why we need better health education in America.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Men don't know anything.
So true.
Funny.
So true.
Tell the folks at home a little bit about like your last couple of months here, because you are wrapping up a very distinguished career, correct?
Yes, I am retiring, which is very strange after 14 years dancing professionally, and my last ballet will be Swan Lake, which is one of my favorites, and it's kind of full circle because I danced this ballet 14 years ago when I first joined the company, my first season. I know, and I'll be finishing with it, and it's really special one to me, A, because there's a lot of featured parts that are fun to be a part of, but also being in the core of Swan Lake is like such a special, amazing team experience. It's like honestly just as fulfilling as doing like something in the spotlight. It's a really cool feeling. So I'm happy to end with that. But yeah, it's a totally strange time, and I have, I feel like I'm leaving high school and trying to decide what college to go to or what I want to be when I grow up all over again. And,
totally.
Yeah, it's weird. It's leaving a family and a whole life, and I don't know what's coming next, but
just great
hopefully
things.
Hopefully it will be okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. But yeah, so
and I got some sweeties coming to the show, which I'm psyched out of my mouth.
Yeah, I'm going to see her, guys. So I'll give you the full report when I get back. But yeah, Robin dances for Texas Ballet Theater, which is in Fort Worth, Texas. Very cool. I've been down there. I've only actually seen one of your shows, which is pretty sad, but now I'm going to see 2, 3.
Look out.
So awesome. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
This is really special.
Thanks for having me. I love you guys so much.
I love you so much. And I'm glad you got to watch this movie and just taking you back to the year 2000 and, when it all started, or sort of for you.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I know. I was right in the thick of it.
I
know. So nice to revisit.
I know. It's a good movie. I give it a solid A-.
Absolutely.
Yay. All right.
Okay.
All right, ladies.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Bye. Well, that was a nice little chatty Chatterson.
I love that bitch. She's my best friend, and I'm so proud of her. And it's just like she just has such a great career down there and has worked so hard and deserves every bit of it. And can't wait to see what she does next. Our little Jodie Sawyer. Slow clap.
Jodie Sawyer.
Robin Bangert. Slow clap.
But anyways, guys, thanks for sticking with us through this extra long episode. We love you. We hope you love it. We seem to be a lot of positive feedback on Twitter, so this should be a good one.
People love this shit.
They do, and I'm glad because it's pretty great.
Yeah.
But anyways, thanks for listening. You can catch us on Twitter at The Sweetie Club or on Instagram at Large Marge Sent Us. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.